Hello and welcome to Engineer Simple. So I'll continue talking about line ground faults on low voltage windings of a transformer, and then how to calculate the the current that will flow through the high voltage, low voltage, and the tertiary or delta winding using symmetrical components and network sequences. So I'm just going to quickly go through what I went through the previous video. So we talked about objectives, then I drew the three-phase system, but it was clustered. Then I said, let's just go with one line instead of three-phase or three-line diagram. Then I drew the sequence networks. Then I kind of obtained the equivalent sequence networks. Then I started calculating the equivalent impedances. Then I used current division to calculate the current through the tertiary or delta winding, through the low voltage winding, then the high voltage winding. So now I'm going to continue. So I calculated the currents, so the zero sequence currents, then the positive, negative, and zero sequence through the high voltage winding and the low voltage winding. So we're applying a single phase or line ground fault. So phase A, line to ground fault. So we're using phase A as the reference on the low voltage side. So LV stands for low voltage. So the A, so A phase, what I can call it the fault. So basically the A phase, this is the fault current that will flow through phase A on the high side is the positive sequence impedance through the high side plus the negative sequence current through the high side plus the zero sequence current through the high side. So this would be in per unit or percentage. If you want to obtain the actual value like in amps, you would just times the base current on the high side. So this current, once you calculate this, so this is phase A basically. So it's no longer symmetrical component, zero sequence or negative sequence. So this is the total current that will flow through phase A on the high side. You know, in this case, as an example, I'm going with 345 kV. So if you do times the high voltage base current, then this current that you will calculate the high voltage winding has to handle that. It has to carry that current. So it has to be sized for this current, basically. Not the actual winding will be sized for, basically they will calculate, in manufacturers, they would have to calculate the line to ground, and three-phase faults, and they will take the worst case, and that will be determine how big the conductor or the winding will be. But as when the transformer is subjected to a line to ground fault on the low voltage side, the high voltage has to handle this current basically. So the current on the low voltage, the fault current that the low voltage windings will see, on phase A would be basically the positive sequence plus the negative sequence plus the, sorry, should be current I, plus the zero sequence of X Obviously, if you want the actual value, do times I x base, the base current. So again, this current, the low voltage winding has to carry should a line to ground fault happen on the low voltage winding. And for the current that the tertiary or the delta winding will see for a line to ground fault on the low voltage winding, so it will be just I0Y. If you do times I Y base, the base current of the tertiary, this should tell you that the tertiary should be able to carry this current. And if you go back to the diagram, this is the current, the I0Y. So as you see here, for the high voltage, basically we sum up to get the A phase current due to a low voltage line to ground fault with some of the positives, negative, and zero sequence. The same thing for the low voltage winding, but for the tertiary one or the delta, only zero sequence will flow. That's why I did not sum up I0, I1, I2. So that's important to know. So now, so let's take an example. So basically this was just a setup. You know, if you have a system, basically those are the equations you would use. You would have to, it would be a lot easier if you plug them in an Excel sheet. Then you just enter the impedances and it should calculate the currents properly. So now I'm going to take a system here. So I'm going to draw so this is the positive sequence network. System A, so the high side. So for simplicity, I'm just going to draw just one impedance instead of the positive sequence equivalent T model. So this is Z1 system A. So the system A positive sequence impedance. This is basically the positive sequence of the transformer. So I'm going with an example, say like 270 MVA, say 345 kV to 130 kV transformer. And this one is positive sequence of system B. They have B side here. So that's just the equivalent source. And obviously these are connected to ground. So this impedance is 0.0032 per unit. The transformer is 0.31 per unit. And 0.0065 per unit. And the system impedances as you go away from the sources, generation, basically, they get larger. The closer you get to the source, the smaller they get. So I think I included all those impedances. So I'll do the same thing for the negative sequence. So negative sequence of system A. So you have H. You have Z2 transformer, the negative sequence. You have X, B and negative sequence of system B. So basically, these are the same as positive sequence impedance. And note, all impedances are on 100 MVA base. So these are connected. So then I can draw this zero sequence impedance. But for the zero sequence impedance, I'm going to draw the T model. So I did not draw the T model for the positive sequence and negative sequence impedance, but I have to draw it for zero sequence impedance. So zero sequence of Y, zero sequence of H, sorry, H, system B. So these are all connected. So A 0.0996 per unit. And for the zero sequence impedance of the system, it can be from 1 to 3 times, or even 5 actually, 5 times the positive sequence. And it gets worse as you get away from the sources. So transformer basically is almost the same as the positive sequence impedance. So this just 1 0 here, 32 per unit. So you have 0, 0 point, let me just erase it so it's not confusing. So it's 0 0.032. This one is 0 0.0195 per unit. Sorry, looks like I left this off. So I think I have all of them. So I'm going to use a different color. So now I'm going to apply a line to ground fault. So that means from that terminal, it will come to this ground basically. Then I'll connect this low voltage side to ground here. Then the same thing here. So again, 3I0 will flow through the neutral or ground. So I'll stop here. In the next video, I'll calculate the equivalent impedances. Thank you for watching.